हे दोस्तों, वेलकम टू अपना कम्युनिटी। ये वो जगह है जहां आप अपने असली पोटेंशियल को एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं। देखो, सबके पास स्किल्स होते हैं, पर क्या आपके अंदर वो स्पार्क है जो आपको कामयाबी की ऊंचाइयों तक ले जा सकता है? अगर आप सोच रहे हैं जॉब चेंज करने के लिए लेकिन रेज्यूमे सेलेक्ट नहीं हो रहा या फिर इंग्लिश में इंटरव्यू देना थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग लग रहा है, तो फिक्र मत कीजिए। यहां हम हैं आपके साथ, आपको सपोर्ट करने के लिए। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगी बेहतरीन कम्युनिटीज जहां आप अपने प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स को सुधार सकते हैं। चाहे आप एक्सेल, टैली, जीएसटी में माहिर बनना चाहें या फिर आप खुद एक ब्यूटिशियन या डिजाइनर हैं, तो यहां आप अपने काम को शोकेस करके दूसरों को टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स देते हुए आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगा मेंटर्स का एक खजाना और बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का साथ जो आपको हर कदम पर 1-to-1 गाइड करेंगे। यहां आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं अपने फील्ड या इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक ग्रुप्स, जहां आपको ऐसे कई लोग मिलेंगे जिनसे सीख के आप वो गलती ना करें जो वो कर चुके हैं। ऐसे लोगों की जिन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था एज एग्जीक्यूटिव्स एंड आर नाउ सक्सेसफुल मैनेजर्स इन देयर डोमेन्स, जो आपको आगे बढ़ाने में मदद करेगा। यहां आपको मिलेगा वो सही डायरेक्शन जो आपकी करियर को नेक्स्ट लेवल ले जाएगा। तो लेट्स अनलॉक योर पोटेंशियल टुगेदर। अपना कम्युनिटी में ज्वाइन करें और अपने सपनों की ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचने का सफर शुरू करें।
Hey guys, good evening. Thank you so much for joining in. So we'll be starting today's session now. If you're attending these sessions for the first time, I would like to start with a quick introduction. It's part of Apna Community Exclusives in partnership with QFIS. It's a webinar series that we have been hosting for the last couple of months. We host regular sessions at 7 p.m. on weekdays, Monday to Friday at 7 p.m. and between 3 to 5 p.m. on weekends, Saturday and Sunday. We do it between 3 to 5 p.m. We've covered a variety of subjects like web development, UI, UX, Gen AI, technical skills, interview prep, etc. The main objective of these sessions is to help you grow professionally, help you expose to industry experts, and learn from their experience. So today's session is about web performance fundamentals. For this session, we have Ankit with us. A quick intro about Ankit. He's a software development engineer, front end at Flipkart. He specializes in web performance and front end optimization. He has more than 3 years of experience and a strong focus on delivering scalable, maintainable, and high performance web applications. He has a few years of experience as a mentor as well, and we are glad to have him with us today. Thank you so much, Ankit, for joining us. Before I hand it over to Ankit, a quick reminder, guys, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. If you're logging in from your phone, please go to the in-call messages in your phone and see the chat box. अगर आपका कोई भी सवाल कभी भी हो, आप चैट बॉक्स का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। अगर आप अपने फोन से लॉग इन कर रहे हैं तो आपको इन कॉल मैसेजेस वाला ऑप्शन दिखाई देगा, वहां जाइए और आप चैट बॉक्स देख सकते हैं। समय समय पे आपको अनम्यूट करने का मौका भी दिया जाएगा कोई सवाल हो तो। In between, when the question and answers are being done, we'll also allow you to unmute yourselves. So without further ado, Ankit, I hand it over to you.
Cool. Hey, hi everyone. As Siddharth already introduced, I work as SD2 at Flipkart, and since past few months I have been working on WebPerf. I just want to have this session very interactive, so I will have just a quick poll key. How many of you have already worked on WebPerf, or you know little bit of web performance, so that I know what my audience is, and in that way I can curate the session. So maybe you can type on the chat ki, yeah, I have worked little bit on WebPerf, or I'm totally new. It's fine, you can message. I will watch the message for a few seconds, then I will start, assuming people are fresh. Okay, cool. So I'm assuming ki people are not knowing much about the WebPerf and they want to learn from scratch. Cool. Okay, I will start screen sharing. Okay, so before starting anything, my thinking is ki why are we doing that should be very clear, and in between I will keep on checking. So Siddharth, if there are lots of messages, maybe you can interrupt me, and then I will come to the meet. Okay.
Sure, sure.
ठीक है. So my funda is ki why should be very clear why we will be doing that thing and what will be the outcome of that thing. If why and what is clear, then we can figure out how those things we will figure out. So why web performance matters in this current market or current experience is very important to understand. So user experience, user is the king, right? The customer is the king. There's a phrase we keep on saying, right? So how user sees your site, how fast it loads, how stable the site is. I mean, is there shifting happening in the site? How fast is the responsiveness? Whether you when you click on any button or something, how fast the reaction is there. So if these things are good, then user will probably stick to the site. I will also give you real life example how in Flipkart what I had worked on, which resulted into lot of good business metric improvement. I will share you in a short while. So user experience is important. Business metrics. So what is bounce? What is bounce rate? So let's say you are on Flipkart.com homepage, and within let's say 100 ms or within let's say 1 second you left the Flipkart homepage. Ideally, so that is bounce. Matlab user is bouncing back. Ideally, what we want ki user should be engaged on the Flipkart app or let's say Amazon app, whatever e-commerce, any site, so that his engagement is there. Then he slowly purchases product, his conversion happens. And what is GMV? GMV is the business metric, gross merchandise value. So if the site is good, performant, obviously the business metric will also improve. And the third major thing which I have also worked on recently is search engine optimization. So I was working on SEO, and in SEO there is something called good URLs by Google. So if your site is having good metrics, performance metrics, their positioning when you search anything, let's say you search furniture, and Flipkart ka furniture page is having good performance metrics, it will bring it at the top of the results. I will just show you also quick example why this perf metrics is important. So here is a this is a snippet from the Flipkart work which I have done. So whatever changes which I had done, you can see the previous experience and the new experience. So how previously the site used to open is on left side. It used to take some time. It used to show some skeleton, and then actual site used to open. And after my changes, how it used to open, it instantly opens. And due to this, there were lots of business metric improvement. I will not go much into this. It is little bit difficult terms, but major the win-win situation was it was like so good experience ki it was highlighted a lot in the org. So this was important why business metrics improve. So why should be very clear, right? And apart from that, as I told you, SEO, right? So in SEO, there is something called page experience thing, where there are lots of URLs with Google flags, whether it is good URL or bad URL, and then your impressions and all keep on changing. So I will take a pause and let me know whether it was too fast or it is fine, the pace with which I'm going. Guys, can you reply? Just a quick check whether the pace is fine or is it too tough to understand so that I can change. Yeah, Pramila, you have raised your hand. Can you unmute and speak if you have any question? Okay, fine. I'm assuming people are getting what I'm speaking. So I will continue with the session because please make it little slow. Okay, okay, fine. So why is important now we understood. Now what is core web vitals? So core web, I will try to add in Hindi also since Siddharth told ki make it English type of thing. So there are three metrics which Google has given to all the sites. The first is largest contentful paint LCP. It implies how fast your site is loading. आपका site कितने जल्दी load हो रहा है. एंड जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे बोला था राइट कि हाउ फास्ट योर साइट लोड्स. सेकेंड थिंग इज कि हाउ स्टेबल योर साइट इज. आपका साइट कितना स्टेबल है, मतलब कि वहां पे जैंकीनेस है कि नहीं. ऑल दिस आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू विद एग्जांपल. अभी के लिए जस्ट यू रिमेंबर व्हाट आई एम स्पीकिंग. So here we have all the examples where I will show you actual. You can suggest any site. We will give you the demo what CLS is. So ये CLS होता है cumulative layout shift. एंड INP क्या होता है कि आपका कितना साइट फास्ट है, हाउ सून इट रिस्पॉन्ड्स. सो INP इज अ मेट्रिक विच मेजर्स द रिस्पॉन्सिवनेस. सो दिस इज द 3 कोर वेब वाइटल्स विच गूगल हैज गिवन. और हर एक का स्कोर होता है. जैसे कि जो LCP है, आपका साइट कितने फास्ट लोड हो रहा है, जो लार्जेस्ट कंटेंटफुल, जो सबसे बड़ा एलिमेंट रहेगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई ओपन flipkart.com, राइट. So here the largest contentful paint is this banner, Flipkart Minutes, where it is saying कि your orders will be delivered in 10 minutes, right? So ये जब तक लोड नहीं होता, यूजर को ऐसा लगता है कि पूरी साइट लोड नहीं हुआ है. So this is LCP. And what is CLS? CLS is something like कि let's say I think let's say I open Apna. There is some issue in Apna. Maybe let me open helpless.flipkart.com. So here, if you observe now, if I am don't consider these images why they're not loading, because I am on the office VPN, so that's the issue. So if you observe while I'm scrolling, there is a jankiness happening. Let me reduce the network. थोड़ा आपको ज्यादा अच्छे से दिखेगा. अभी यहाँ पे एक लोडर आ रहा है और फिर वो पूरा कंटेंट स्क्रॉल हो रहा है. तो ये विजुअल स्टेबिलिटी नहीं है, तो इसको हम लोग बोलते हैं CLS, क्यूमुलेटिव लेआउट शिफ्ट. और INP क्या होता है, उसका मैं यहाँ पे डेमो आपको दे दूंगा. ठीक है. नाउ अब क्लियर हो गया कि वाई क्या है, मतलब हम लोग क्यों करना चाहते हैं इंप्रूव वेब का परफॉर्मेंस, और होते क्या है वो 3 मेट्रिक. उसके बाद इंपॉर्टेंट है कि कैसे हम मेजर करते हैं कि हमारे वेब के, हम लोग लेट्स से यू आर ट्राइंग टू इम्प्रूव समथिंग, but how will you know ki whether it is really improving the performance? For example, people try to do gym, right? So they try to measure also their weight and all. So if they don't measure their weight, they will not get to know, right, ki whether their gym is actually helping them. I am trying to connect with the folks. Thoda main example of since I have not received much of the feedback, so I will make it a little bit uh, simpler to understand in real life what you used to do. तो measurement is very important. Measure करना बहुत जरूरी होता है. So there are multiple tools where you can measure how your site is performing. So there are 2 types of data. One is lab data. तो जैसे कि लैब डेटा मतलब समझ लो केमिस्ट्री का लैब है, राइट. उसमें आप कुछ एक्सपेरिमेंट परफॉर्म करते हो तो आपको रिजल्ट दिखता है. एंड देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड रम डेटा. रम इम्प्लाइज रियल यूजर मॉनिटरिंग. सो जैसे ये नाम ही बोल रहा है कि आपके एक्चुअल यूजर्स विच आर यूजिंग योर साइट, हाउ दे आर एक्सपीरियंसिंग योर वेबसाइट, that is denoted by rum data. And lab data is something while you are developing, right, how the performance metrics are, वो lab data provide करता है. So there is a very good site which is called PageSpeed Insights. तो मैं आपको ये open करके दिखाता हूँ. So PageSpeed Insights क्या करता है कि जो भी रियल आपका साइट है, let's say for example I take flipkart.com, okay. यहाँ पे मैं flipkart.com को एनालाइज करता हूँ. So it is running the analysis and it is taking all the data. So now what it is saying is कि latest 28 day का collection period. This is real user data. So whenever you are opening in Chrome, either mobile or either desktop, right? For last 28 days, how the users have experienced the site, उनका metrics क्या, LCP and CLS and INP and other few metrics also it gives us. And it is like कि पूरा ये real user data है. So this is called RUM data. And what is lab data? So lab data, let's say I open flipkart.com here, and here there is something called, let me make it no throttling. और यहाँ पे एक लाइट हाउस करके एक टैब होता है. तो ये लाइट हाउस क्या करता है कि आपका जो यहाँ पे जो इस लैपटॉप का जो सिमुलेशन है, जैसे कि जो भी इसका कॉन्फ़िगरेशन है, जो भी नेटवर्क स्पीड है, इससे वो एनालाइज करके बताता है कि इसका क्या मैट्रिक्स है इसके परफॉर्मेंस का. तो दिस इज लैब डेटा एंड दिस इज एक्चुअल यूजर डेटा. और भी तरीके हैं जहाँ पे यूजर डेटा मिलता है. सो देयर इज, दिस इज आल्सो वेरी गुड. क्रक्स डैशबोर्ड करके हम इसको बोलते हैं. लेट मी ओपन. तो हियर आई थिंक प्रोबब्ली कुछ 12 मंथ्स का डेटा आपको मिलता है इन डैशबोर्ड फॉर्म.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are lighthouses and extension. These are web developer tools or extension.
So within the DevTools, there is a Lighthouse panel where you will get this. You need not install any extension as such.
Okay, we don't require to install. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, even that kind of a thing. You're using Chrome, right? Isn't Edge and all other browsers? Even
Lighthouse is available in most I think it might be specific to Chrome DevTools. Okay, I need to confirm whether it is available in Safari or Mozilla also.
So
But
not a
as far as
problem.
I'm
Thank you. Thanks for this.
okay. Anyone else is having question? Vinita has raised her hand. And if you don't have any question, you can lower your hand. Okay, cool. Praveen, you have hi. Yeah. Do you have anything to discuss? Okay. Can you please talk in English only? Fine,
Yes.
fine.
So I didn't get it the first one.
What didn't you get?
I didn't get the first one. Flipkart. Flipkart. You just showed it. No, I didn't get it.
So just hold on. I will be explaining all these things in further
Yes.
slides. I have lots of slides prepared, right? So I will
Yes.
explain everything.
Yes.
So here I'm just giving you how do you measure this web performance metrics. You just keep in mind. So don't
Yes.
get overwhelmed. And whatever I'm sharing, right, I will publish as a website. This I've created a website. I will publish it, and then you all will get the access to it. Or else you can meanwhile note it down. So Praveen, just
Okay.
hold on.
I will. Okay, sir. I will note it down.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Okay, so I was talking about this where you can measure the metric. So let's say we take largest contentful paint metric, right? So this will be data of almost, let's say, how many months from past October 23, almost 1 year it is showing the data. We can select the device also, whether we want to know only of the phone or whether we want to know of the desktop users also. So let's say I consider only phone users.
So in device, I am in desktop.
I mean,
I am in desktop.
yeah, fine, fine. So what is the difference between lab data and user data? So the difference is user data, the lab data might be very good also sometimes, right? Because
Yes.
your machine is having good configuration, your network is having very good. But the actual user, for say, let's say, for example, a user is opening your site in a lift. Okay. And in a lift, there is network connectivity is very poor.
Yeah.
So that user will have the experience of your site very poor, right? So that is the actual user data. Or maybe some user is using your site in a very good Wi-Fi. He will be having very good experience. But in lab data, it might be so user data gives you the original picture. So I hope I answer your question, Mirza. Cool. I will continue. So I talked about page speed
Yes.
insights crux, and there are other application monitoring tool we say APM. So in Flipkart we use Neuralink. I have in past used Datadog also, and there is one extension also you can download, but it as such it is not needed because Lighto is already in the panel. So again, I will just recap quickly 1 minute. We talked about why we need to think about web performance. I showed you the metrics also in Flipkart how it improved. I also told you what are the 3 things which we need to fix. And I also told you how to measure the 3 things. Now we will come into actual scenario where we talk about the metric and we will try to fix it. Okay. I
Uh,
will. Hmm.
one. Yeah, just again you repeat, sir. I can't understand.
Okay, I will quickly recap in 1 minute, but considering the time which I have got, I have to cover up everything till 7:45. If you have
Okay.
any further question, then you can ask after the session, but till 7:45, I will try to cover also, or else I will not justify other members
Yeah.
their time. Sure, I will recap in 1 minute.
Yes.
So what we talked about was why are we talking about web performance? I talked how user experience matters, how fast the site loads, how stable the site is, and how fast is the responsiveness. And I also showed you the business metrics, right, where
Yeah.
all this improvement happens, the bounce rate decreased, the conversion improved, right?
Yeah.
So this is important. And I also talked about SEO. In SEO, I told an example, right? If the site's performance is good, the Google, when you search anything, it tries to bring them above the results. I mean, the positioning is little bit higher so that users can easily discover them. This is why we talked. And then what are the 3 major metrics which Google measures? LCP is largest contentful paint, cumulative layout shift, and interaction to next paint. And then I talked about how we can measure the web performance, where we get the actual data. Cool. Now I will start with the 3 metrics, LCP, CLS, and INP. What is LCP? So LCP, as I told you here, example where the banner was this Flipkart minutes, right? So this is
Yeah.
the LCP element of Flipkart.com. So how soon this element is visible to user is the LCP metric. Okay. Now how to identify the LCP? So there is something called Performance Observer API. It might feel overwhelming, but hold on, just try to understand and try to digest whatever I'm saying, and then
Yeah.
you can review all these things alone when you are trying after the session. So I will just
Yes.
copy this snippet and I will paste here. Yeah. So in the info, it will tell us what was the largest contentful paint. So let's say it is telling this element, there is some image element and there is some URL also. So let's copy this. So if I hover, it is showing this image, right? It is
Yeah.
not showing this banner. So can anyone tell ki why it is not showing this banner and why it is showing this image? I will just pause for 1 minute.
Okay.
The hint is the height and width, largest contentful. Largest implies which is the biggest among here. So it also tells you the image also. So let's say I copy the content. So it is telling this is the image which is contributing as LCP. Now let's say probably I am a logged in user. If I open flipkart.com in incognito, there might be some other LCP element. So here if I copy the snippet which I tried here, in this, if you observe, there are multiple LCPs coming. So what happens? Site load keeps on loading slowly, right? It doesn't. So initially the LCP element is something here. It is null. It is not mentioning. Here also it is not null. Here it is telling this logo. What is this logo? I will copy. So this Flipkart Explore Plus, right? This logo is contributing to CLS. Sorry, to LCP. And here this image, let's copy this and see what is the image. So here the carousel banner is contributing as largest contentful paint. So what it means, this image needs to be load fast. So we first discuss how we measure. How we measure, we discuss we can use that page speed insights and all. And here also we can use the API of Performance Observer. Now we know what is the largest contentful paint. Okay.
Yes.
Now how to make it appear faster is our next task. So I hope you
Excuse
are
me.
connecting the dots.
Yeah. Is all of this stuff a forensic analysis? It comes under forensic analysis.
So could you please specify what you mean by forensic analysis?
Yeah, I feel like we do have a lot of technologies right now diagnosing the technology, what it is, what causes the error, and all this kind of parameter diagnosing. So will
Okay.
comes in the computer forensic analysis.
So actually there are lots of jargons. One jargon is forensic analysis. Few people say ki it is kind of dev analysis. As a developer, I am analyzing what is the LCP. So you can assume it's a kind of analysis only which we are doing. Yeah.
Okay,
Hope
okay,
it
sure, sure.
makes it clear.
Once I will check the university's curriculum with this, and I will see once.
Yeah, sure. Cool. So I will continue. How to identify LCP? This is one of the way. Another way is ki page speed insights diagnostics. So here I think I had opened flipkart.com. In this, someone had asked, right? He didn't get this. So I will explain here how LCP is getting shown. So Google also tells you what is the largest contentful paint element. So here it is telling this is one of the image. Let me copy this hash. So if you see, this is the image. Even Google is telling the same in the PageSpeed Insights. This is the image. Okay. Now this is the second way from where we can get to know what is our LCP. And third is the Lighthouse in DevTools, which I think initially also I showed you. There is something here, Lighthouse. I think I might not have shown. I will show you again. So here we can analyze the page performance, and here also you will get to know what is the LCP element. I will try to be a little bit faster since we only have 25
So
minutes.
one question for what is mean of a LCP?
So if you would have been attentive at the start, what LCP means, it's largest contentful paint, right? How much time your largest content area takes. So I explained this. This is what is LCP. And try to visualize in simpler words. Don't go in these English terms. मुझे मेरे साइट पे सबसे ज्यादा बड़े width और height में क्या दिख रहा है? That is your largest contentful area. So I hope
I think what is the largest contentful area depends from site to site.
yeah, obviously it depends from site to site. For example, in e-commerce, the
Yeah.
largest contentful area could be an image. But for
Yes.
let's say for a blogging site, right, where there are not
Yeah.
images, it will be only some heading or title tag, right?
Yes, sir.
So I hope you got it right.
Yeah, I got it, sir.
Cool. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay,
I will.
thank you.
Do this,
I will
do this
continue.
areas are automatically recognized, or we need to specify it?
Sorry, could you please repeat?
Largest contentful area, right? This is where more is it like where most of your users sees, or is it like something which you have to program it? This is what the largest contentful area.
Got it. Got it. You need not Google Chrome. I mean Google. I mean not Google. The Chrome itself, the browser itself, identifies what is the largest contentful area. You need not specify ki this is my LCP element, right? So
Got it.
Google Chrome specifies based on the height and width. For example, if I open this Flipkart.com in desktop,
I think it is based on height and width, not regarding any other parameter, only based on height and width.
yeah, it is based on height and width. Yeah, how large, and it should be contentful. It should be meaningful. I mean, let's say I just show a skeleton here, white screen, right? So it might not be that contentful. So that's why there is a contentful suffix also, largest plus contentful. So now let's say in this desktop site, right, the LCP element might be something else. Obviously it is a banner itself, but I'm just giving an example.
Sure.
Cool. Should I continue?
Yeah, you can continue. As I got interested, I will dig deeper and furthermore.
Okay. It depends
Thank you.
about the size. Okay, cool. Okay. I showed you these three things where we can measure, and there is something also called performance panel in DevTools. This is really interesting, and you should definitely try to check out. It tells you tons of information. It is trying to analyze, and it will tell you what is LCP, what is CLS, all those things. Okay, cool. So here, let me. So if you.
Just a minute. So just a minute, I will go out. I will come back. I will join it now.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Feel free to join back whenever.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was talking about the performance panel. Here you get to know what is the LCP element, what is the where did the CLS happen and all. So if we hover here, it tells at what time the LCP happened, right? So after this banner is visible, LCP was triggered. So performance panel we discussed. Now you know how to identify the LCP element. Now we will talk finally how to improve the LCP elements viewing time. So the LCP is divided into 4 phases: how soon it comes from the server, and how much time the browser takes to start loading the LCP element. Then third is ki how much time actually the image takes to download. So it depends upon the image size. If the image is, let's say, in MBs, right, it will take a lot of time. So this third phase will be very large resource load duration. And finally, there is element render delay, which explains ki how much time actually after the loading the image, how much time browser is taking to paint the image. Again, I will recap. First is time to first byte, which means ki we will go by example. I am refreshing. Now, if you observe, right, how much time this is the first request in the waterfall. How much time this took? It took almost 962 ms, around 1 second. 1 second it took, right? So if I reduce the speed, currently I'm on Wi-Fi with good network. If I make it slow 4G, and again now if we observe, it will come around 2-3 seconds mostly. Yeah, it came around almost 6 seconds it is coming. So this is TTFB, time taken for first byte. How much time it took for the first response to come from the server. Okay. how to improve this. So you think in very simple terms. Anything which is coming over the network, if it is having large size, it will take a lot of time to download. So we should try to reduce the size. That is first thing. Reduce the document payload size. Second thing is your server should not take too much time to send the response. For example, if you might be aware of server-side rendering, what happens when we request this Flipkart.com or let's say Amazon.in, there is some server sitting, let's say in Mumbai or let's say in Chennai. It is nearer to the where you are. I am speaking from Bangalore, so it might be somewhere near only. That server, the request goes to the server. If you see right, and in the response headers, you will see there is some server which is responding with this whatever this HTML. Okay, so this server should be very fast. It should not take too much time. If it takes time, this metric will be hampered, time to first byte. Now I will come to second phase of the LCP, how we can improve. So this is resource load delay. As there is a term delay, what it implies, how much time browser is taking to actually start the fetching of the image. So what I mean is, let's say you observe the waterfall. There are multiple requests which are going to the server, right? There are some JavaScript also. There are lots of images also, right? So it is important how fast the browser is able to start the initiation of this image. So that's why it is very important that your browser should start very fast the download of the image. So this is the second phase, resource load delay. And third, as I already explained, how much time it takes for the actual image to download. So it totally depends upon the size of the image. The format of the image is also important. For example, if you observe here, let's say I copy this image. Here, if you hover, they would have used here. If you observe, there is a picture tag, and in picture tag, there are multiple formats of the same image. If you observe clearly, there is something here 1600 into 710. So it implies when the viewport size, currently it's mobile view, right? 374 is the width and height is 860. So when the width is, let's say, above 1600, then this image will be downloaded. If the width is around 1000, then different image version we are having. And if the view is of mobile, this is something 480 into 210 pixel, then we will have some different image. So by this approach, what we are able to do, we are downloading the image which is suitable for that viewport. For desktop, we will download bigger image because already the desktop users are on Wi-Fi mostly. Whoever are on desktop, they are mostly on Wi-Fi. They have good network bandwidth. They can afford to download a bigger image. But on mobile view, since users are having less network connectivity mostly, we are downloading lesser size wala image. Also, compression is important in the image. So let's say I think here
right now I'm using Wi-Fi, but with mobile hotspot actually.
it's fine.
So yeah, like I want to ask you, like, do one kind of a page loading speed or quality of the images to be loaded is something gonna reflect when I'm using the mobile network rather than the communication, like higher speed of communication?
It definitely matters, right? You just think, right? So let's say I will give you an analogy. There is a pipe from which water is coming, right? And if the pipe circumference is, let's say, 20 meter, the volume of water and the speed of water from that pipe will be, let's say, x. And let's the same pipe is having circumference of 40 meter. So the speed of the water and the volume of the water will be also 2x, right? So it matters what you are using. If you are using a high speed, high connectivity Wi-Fi, right? You have very good bandwidth. You can download lots of resources in very less time, right?
Yes,
But if
yes,
you're on,
yes.
cool. I will continue. Yeah, that
Got
is
it.
very basic.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I explained these three things: resource load delay and TTFB. In resource load delay, how you make browser to see the LCP element very fast is important. So these are called browser hints. We give hints to the browser. What is the hint? The hint is one is preload and the another is fetch priority. So as the name suggests, preload, try to load it as fast as possible, as early as possible. So this is preload. And fetch priority is we define the priority for that image. The priority can be high, low, medium. So if we observe here, mostly the priority should be high. If I sort by, let me add this priority also here. So every resource is having priority. In life also, right? We prioritize lots of tasks. So we tell the browser, ki, hey browser, hey Google, hey Safari, hey V8 engine, whatever. You need to download this largest contentful event, which is of this Minutes Express banner at the topmost priority. So you can sort by priority. There are highest, then high, and then low. So these are the priority you can set. Now we talked about load time also, how you can reduce the loading time. And then there is resource element render delay. After everything is done, after image is downloaded and all, it doesn't matter. As soon as the image is downloaded, user will see it. Browser has, there is a lot of factors. So whatever you're seeing, right, it's pixels. Browser has to create a layout. Browser has to paint it. There is painting happening, and then actual image is shown. So that also takes time. So if browser is busy in some other thing, then that will suffer, right? So we have to make sure that happens fast. So these are the 4 things. If you improve these 4 things, obviously your LCP will improve. I had just tried to focus on Apna, from which this the platform via which we are hosting this session. So here also they are telling their LCP element as this hero image. I think it is not getting downloaded because maybe some security reason, whatever. So here, if you can see what I talked, right? TTFB, load delay, load time, and render delay. Try to go through this table and try to connect the dots. What I told you, whether this correlates. So if you see, TTFB is taking 18% of the LCP time. Load delay is 6%. I mean, this means the browser is kind of free only, and it is very fast trying to download the image. But the load time is taking a lot because maybe the size of the image will be bigger, whatever the user network and all. And then there is render delay. So we covered LCP. Now this is the simplest CLS, cumulative layout shift. How to identify? Again, the performance observer API helps us. Since we are having less time, I will directly show you the example, which I did in Flipkart. I will show you how it was. So if you observe this image, maybe I will zoom in little bit. If you try to observe this image, what is happening when I'm clicking medicines in Flipkart, what is happening? The image is getting shifted. Did you observe this? Can someone say yes? 1 second, now. 1 second, I'm getting a call.
Yes.
1 second.
You guys, Ankit will be back.
Yeah.
So
So did you observe how the shifting is happening? Again, see the GIF. So observe the top Flipkart header. When you click on medicines category, initially this layout happens, then that Flipkart header is coming from the top. Okay, if not this, then I will show you some simpler example. In Apna itself, it was happening. So if you observe this career may struggle wala image, right? This image is coming after the whole site was getting loaded. Somehow now Apna is not getting loaded for me. Maybe whatever reasons. Some security access. Let me give some other example. Let me open Flipkart Help Us. Here did you observe how the shifting happened? Because of this banner, what happened? The whole page got shifted. So this is what we mean by CLS. I will show. Yeah, probably this should be sufficient for you to understand what is CLS and how we can observe. Similarly, LCP, similar to LCP, we can use this performance observer API to observe the CLS. Now, how to identify, and then again how to improve the CLS. So there are multiple things. You yourself think, let's say there is an image which is getting loaded after the whole site is loaded. So what we can do, we can keep a placeholder for the image. When the site itself is loading at the start, we can keep a placeholder so that there is no shifting happening for the whole site, right? So this is one of the way. And another thing where the CLS gets impacted a lot when we try to lazy load. What we mean by lazy loading is when there are few JavaScript files. I will give you example what I mean by JS files. So these are all the JS files. Uh, Lots of code is here, right? So let's say this one JS file is responsible for the banner which is visible here. Okay. Now let's say we are downloading this JavaScript file after some time. Till that time, then what will happen? This banner will not be visible. And once that JavaScript is downloaded, then my banner will be visible. So again, this will lead to CLS. So we should avoid doing that. Okay. I hope LCP is clear, CLS is clear. I will take a pause for, let's say, half a second, and anyone have any questions?
Sir, how we design the Facebook page?
Please repeat. How do we design page?
How do we design the Facebook page?
Facebook page.
Pages, web pages.
Normal web pages you are saying?
Yes.
Probably this question is out of the scope of web performance, but I can show you the code which I have written for this web performance talk. I will take it after the session, right? Because this talk is focusing on web performance, but it is very straightforward. I am showing very basic thing. There is something HTML file, okay, and then there is some JavaScript file. You have to just import it, and it is straightforward. I will try to take it as a separate session, how to make websites and all, if you all are interested. For now, the scope of this talk is web performance. Okay, Pramila?
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Now I will try to come on. So if you remember at the start, I talked about three things. How fast your site loads, which will be measured by LCP. How stable your site is, which will be measured by cumulative layout shift. Now the last is the how fast your site responds. So I have a very good demo which will explain how this is. So INP is interaction to next paint. It tells ki how soon after some click next paint is happening on the site. Basically how responsive the site is. Now how to identify the site, how to identify INP. So here there is a JavaScript snippet which I personally use. I can show you the demo also. We will have the demo, and then how to improve the INP. It's a different part. So let's first see the demo. If so, observe here there are two buttons. Let me open developer tools also. One button takes a lot of time to respond, and another is the good INP button. Okay. Now I'm clicking on bad INP button. It takes almost how much time? 1 second to display this bad INP example wala div. If you see this div, right? So after 1 second after my click, it showed the UI. And if I do the same now, I told you, right, how we can measure the INP. I will copy this snippet. So here it is taking how much time? Around 1 second, right? And the extension which I had downloaded, the Web Vitals extension, it is not Lighthouse, it is different Web Vitals. It is also telling that your INP metric is around 1 second. So that means if I make this site live somewhere, and if let's say 50% of users are clicking this bad INP button, it will come to my site the INP metric which I showed here, right? PageSpeed Insights may here INP. This will come around 1 second. So this is very basically I explained what is INP. Now if you take the example of good button, if I click quickly within almost 0 millisecond, I am trying to simulate, right? So I can explain you what code I have written here. So basically I am running a for loop for a very long time to simulate this interaction to next paint wala behavior. So I hope INP is clear. What is it? It is very vast, and it was recently added in the core Web Vitals. It is tough to improve also. It is not that easy to improve, but we should be clear what needs to be improved and what is INP. So we are already on 7:45. I will try to wrap Siddharth in some 5 minutes, and then we can have the Q&A.
Sure.
Sounds good?
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, cool. So INP, there are three phases which I will explain you quickly. One is when I'm clicking the button, what was the browser doing? Was the browser free at that time? When I click this button, right? Whether browser was free. Okay, so yes, browser was free. So this part will be input delay will be 0. Now processing time ki how much time my click handler is taking. So processing time here is almost 1 second, which is visible. So this here it is bad. And then there is something presentation delay. So if you observe, almost there is some 100 ms presentation delay. 100 ms takes for painting and all. So these are the three phases from which INP is made. Interaction to next point. So I hope we have covered three things and it makes sense. How fast the site loads, how
So,
stable.
so one question I didn't get CLS.
Okay,
CLS.
I will repeat it for you in some time. Let me wrap it up.
Yes.
Uh,
Okay. Sir.
how stable the site is, and the last is how fast the site is. Now there is something called Lighthouse score, and I already told you the real life work which I have done at Flipkart, which three things I showed you. Now coming to Lighthouse score, so this is also a good thing which you should know. Example I am telling you. This example is of I think Apna only. Let me open the demo URLs. Yeah, I think from Apna. So Google has created something called Lighthouse score. It provides us a score which tells us how your site is. If this score is, let's say, 10, 20, right? That means the site is very poor in web performance. If this site is, let's say, above 75, that means it is very good. Or let's say good. If it is above 90, very good. So currently the score is 58. How this is calculated, you should understand. So there are 3, 4 things. I discussed about CLS, right? So this is contributing 25% to the overall score of the Lighthouse. The second thing which we discussed, LCP, which is contributing 25%. And INP here they have not added. It is lab kind of data we can say. And the third is that TBT, which is almost 30%. So what total working time is key, as it names this, right? For how much time the thread was blocked for long enough time. So that indicates the TBT. FCP is very clear. As soon as something get painted, right, first contentful, that contributes to 10%. And speed index is something which even I'm not that much sure, but indicates how progressively fast your site is loading. That indicates the speed index. I wrapped it very fast since we are short of time. So this is how Lighthouse score is getting calculated. Now I will show you example of Lighthouse score, which here in Flipkart.com they have tried to load on some headless Chromium. There is some virtual machine which Google uses. They have throttled the network internet speed to slow 4G, and they are using Moto G power wala phone virtual machine. It shows you all the things which you can improve. Okay, you should try to visit PageSpeed Insights. It tells you what needs to be improved and all. Few bonus.
Actually,
One last bonus tip I will say, then we can come to Q&A.
sure.
This is a very good tool called Webpack Bundle Analyzer, which I have personally used a lot. What it tells you, it will help you to remove your unused JavaScript. For example, this is a project from Next.js, and it tells you ki what all things this underscore app.js is having. For example, it is using in the node modules, it is using some packages. It is using React Native web style components and all. There is some other thing. So you can figure out whether it is actually needed. Can we remove it? So I had done this a lot, and if I share you, almost of from 500 KB, I had reduced it using this tool. I analyzed the tool, and then I have done a lot of things here. Maybe some other time I will explain. There is something we did domain sharding also, but yeah, based on the interest we can take it up. Cool. I will try to take the Q&A, and then we will try to wrap on time around it. Yeah.
So like, yep. Is all this comes under software testing, isn't it?
Software development.
It's like development is in a phase where we use programming languages to build things, but I think it's like testing. In development, there's a testing phase, right? After the development, that testing phase includes this stuff, right? Whatever you write in reports and all this stuff.
Usually, in general, it is not the case. This is part of the SDE cycle. The developer has to make sure that whatever he's, let's say, releasing, right, it should be performant. The part most generally what I've seen as a part of testing, the major user flow, for example, add button click, checkout, cart building, payments, and all is working fine or not, that is tested. I hope
Yep,
that
yep.
that clears your question.
Yes, got it.
Cool. Anyone else is having any question? Was it too tough, or you can give it as a feedback? Siddharth, can you float the feedback form? Yeah, Mirza, you can unmute and speak.
Sir, actually, I wanted to know about unused JavaScript. What does this mean, unused JavaScript?
So unused word meaning you know, right? What is not used. So I will tell
So
you.
how? I mean, why would we keep a JavaScript code in a website which should be unused? I
Yeah,
don't know the logic.
I got your point. So basically, the thing is not always black and white, right? When you try to develop something, there are lots of things. There is timeline pressure from the business side and all. There are lots of multiple factors. So what devs in this process, what they do, they write the code which in future might be unused. For example, let's say you have created a component and there is some file, let's say component a.js. Now after, let's say, 6 months, that component A is not used in your website, right? But the file is still there and file is getting loaded to the user. So that becomes unused. So a developer is not intently introducing unused JS. Over a period of time, it might become unused. Hope it makes sense.
Yes, sir, yes. Okay, thank you.
Cool.
Guys, I've added the, I mean, you can ask further questions, but before that, I've added the feedback from multiple times in the chat box. You can, before you leave, please do fill it. Yeah, go ahead. Any questions? You can put it in the chat box or unmute yourselves.
Was it too tough? Was it too? Okay. The silence is taken as yes. It is fine, all fine. If you don't speak, then you lose.
Yeah, guys, we have Ankit with us for a couple of minutes, so you can utilize his time.
Yeah.
Ask him about his journey, about his
Yeah. Apart from
experience.
web you can talk something,
Yeah.
anything you can talk now. I am open. Genuine question you can ask.
Yeah. You can put it in the chat box. You can unmute yourselves. Anything about Flipkart, his experience.
Okay. I think people are
Analyzing.
try to make it engaging.
Yeah, but Apna sessions, I think Apna sessions are always like, like has to be like we are a lot of informative and dealing with a lot of stuff. And now we are focusing on out of topic questions. That's got something weird to it. I didn't got stuck with questions.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, Siddharth, that was a feedback for you.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll keep it general next time when we have Ankit here. We'll take a very general session.
Yeah, I'm fine. Next time someone asks, right, how to make website. Maybe that will be very, I can try. That will be very, actually, if you search YouTube, right, you will find all those things. So I don't want to talk something which is already very much easily available.
Ankit, like in digital marketing, because websites is kind of digital marketing, and digital market itself is going with us all indicators and all the stuff.
Digital marketing is itself going with.
All indicators, how kind of like we have a lot of performance metrics, right? In the
Got it,
same way,
got it.
yeah, in the same way, like because you are a developer, so you got into this time as a digital marketer, one who is in, he also does required to go to all these metrics and all. He does that. Well, he does that.
So digital marketing is totally different. In digital marketing, what usually is done, ki let's say I have seen this, right? Let's say we wanted to run some camping. So in the camping, we pay to the Google to show that advertisement at the top. Then we get to know ki what is the click-through rate. All those things is different. This web performance metrics is totally different. I think you should not confuse both of them.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the clarity.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a general question, not in the coding point of view. That how can we means decrease the loading time in general of a website?
So if you were listening my session, right, these three metrics you should, the most important metric was LCP. That you should focus. If you focus on that, again, I will share my screen just quickly 1 minute. Let me. So if you see this, how to improve LCP, right? There are 4 phases here, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So this time to first byte you should improve, which I already talked, right? How to improve. So you can reduce the payload size, you can make your servers fast, all those things. Then second thing, key you should rate, you should keep as much less JavaScript as possible, so that there is not much time gone in downloading the JavaScript and all, right? Then the images should be very small size. There should be compression. Let's say, for example, here the compression is, if you also there should be caching also. So here the compression is content encoding brutally. So there are different types of compression. There is gzip compression, there is brutally compression. So your asset should be compressed. There should be caching. For example, this is I think 30 days TTL. So for example, if I remove the disable cache, right, it will be loading very fast, because all my first time it will take time, then next time it will load very fast, because all my JavaScript will be in the cache only. So you should have cache and all. Uh, there are lots of things. So that's why this session I focus on Chrome Web Vitals, and try to go through this web.dev. It is very good site. I will definitely recommend to learn from here. So whatever I am speaking, right, I also learned from somewhere. So if someone asks me to go to the site for web performance, I will recommend them this thing. Uh, Anyways, I will publish this as a blog, and you can also connect with me over LinkedIn. So I had a thanks slide also. So this, you can scan the QR code. It will take you to my LinkedIn profile, and there, if you have any genuine question, you can DM me. I will be happy to resolve your queries.
So one question of what is CLS?
CLS is cumulative layout shift, which says whether your site is stable or not, whether there is jankiness or not,
Okay, fine.
which I already explained.
Yeah, sir. And the lighthouse score you explained, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, fine, sir.
Yeah.
And this coding,
Sorry.
the Java coding, Java code.
No, this session is for JavaScript. Java we will take different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it web this Flipkart for advertisings.
I didn't get.
What's up?
I didn't get what at last you asked.
Flipkart, you just showed some medicines, or you just send images.
Right, right.
Just showed images, right? Like medicine, tablets, like images.
Yeah, what I explained was this thing, where I was explaining the CLS thing.
Yes, same.
Cool, cool.
Yes.
Okay, I think Siddharth, maybe we can wrap up. If
Yeah.
Ankit, actually, I sent you a LinkedIn request. Please accept it.
Yeah, sure. I will.
Thank you.
Cool.
Cool. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. So we'll be concluding today's session. Thank you so much, Ankit, for joining us and sharing your expertise. I believe everyone found this session useful, and we were able to address all the doubts and queries that were put across. Thank you, everyone, for joining in and making this a successful session. A quick reminder, final reminder again, I've put the feedback form multiple times. I'm putting it again. Before you go, please do fill the feedback form. It really helps us plan the next set of sessions and also use the feedback to the mentors to deliver valuable content. So please do fill the feedback form at any cost. I put the Apna website also. You can find the recording of this session and also previous sessions in there. You can check for upcoming sessions also there. If you're part of the Apna community, you can see the posters. You can also comment interested in the comment section of the posters, and you'll get to know. So as mentioned earlier, we'll keep having these sessions every day. Tomorrow it is at 7 p.m. We hope to see you all there. Thank you so much, Ankit, again. Have a good night, guys. Have a great evening. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Good night.